Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Tech Tip Tuesday. So this week we're going to be looking at the manual on the track. Back in September we covered manuals on the flat, so if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out, because getting your flat skills nailed is super important before bringing them to the track. So with your manual on the track, we're going to go through the 4 key points. That's the approach, the transition on the upslope, the drive through with the legs, and the finishing it off into the backside. So as with most track skills, you're going to be approaching in the attack position at a moderate speed. So we're looking at a reasonable jogging pace as you approach the obstacle. So now we've worked on the approach and the transition, we want to work on the leg drive as we go across the obstacle. The key here is leg drive and weight shift. We're going to be driving the legs down and forward as our upper body stays just over the back wheel. So shoulders are going to try and stay predominantly up over the hips. We don't want to get too low on the bike. Ultimately, we're going to be in roughly this position. So now we've worked on the leg drive and we're getting confident carrying the wheel across the obstacle, we want to think about finishing the job. And that's placing the front wheel down into the backside, ideally as high up into that backside as possible. And with that, we need to then shift our weight forwards again. Basically, from the halfway point, we're going to stay centered, and then at the halfway point, start to lean the shoulders forward into this position, and then get ready to drive the front wheel down and pump down into the backside. A really good progression from a tabletop is a step up, because we've still got that flat space, but we've got the peak which is slightly raised and makes us have to manage that wheel height. The principle's the same as a tabletop: coming in, driving the legs, keeping tall, looking forward, transferring the weight forward to finish it off, and extending the arms to pump away. So now we've nailed a tabletop and a step up, we can start to progress to a double. The principle here is the same, but it all happens much quicker, because we have the down slope as we drive the wheel, so the front wheel's going to start to come up quite quickly. So managing body position is really key. Try not to stay off the back of the bike too long. As the front wheel passes the midpoint, start to get that body weight forward, so you're not going to be over manualing. We don't want to be looping out as we come through here. As you drive the legs down to about this point in the manual, this is when the chest starts to come forward again, so we can pump that front wheel down into the backside transition. So once we've built that technique from the tabletop to the step up into a double, we can start linking manuals together through a rhythm section. And there it is, the manual. Approach at a good jogging speed, absorb the upslope, shift the weight back as the front wheel crests off the lip, drive through with the legs, and at the midpoint start to bring that upper body weight forward to pump down into the backside. Thanks ever so much for watching Tech Tip Tuesday this year. We won't be here next week because it's Christmas week, but we'll be back in the new year with a whole new series. Thanks ever so much for watching.